Hi, everyone. Michelle Gramolia, CEO of Woodland Pond. Today is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, and this is going to be my daily update for this week related to the positive COVID cases on campus, as well as a few other things. Again, please be reminded that I'm going to do this every day at 2 p.m. this week, Monday through Friday, and then we will see what I need to do through the weekend, and then next week, depending on how the remainder of this week goes. These are going to be available each day, sometime after 3 p.m. on our YouTube channel. So for those that are not aware, if you go to www.youtube.com, that is a video repository, and Woodland Pond has a dedicated page there. So you need to do that on your computer. And what you would do is there's a magnifying glass up in the corner. That's the search bar. You would type in Woodland Pond at New Paltz. So again, you're on the youtube.com webpage, and you, in the search bar, type in Woodland Pond at New Paltz. You'll scroll down and you'll see an option for the Woodland Pond YouTube channel, it's called. And once you click on that, you will see an option for videos. And you'll find there these videos, as well as all of the videos that we've ever uploaded to our YouTube channel. There's quite a variety there now. These will be here. I will be sending these out in a daily link via email to residents, staff, and loved ones. And then you can click on the link to get the video as well. So why don't we get into the update for today? So yesterday, I believe that you all became aware, actually Sunday, that we did have 12 residents in the health center test positive for COVID. Following yesterday's update, a number of you asked some specific questions about the timeline of events. And so I want to just talk about that for a few moments. But before I do that, I just want to start out by saying that all 12 of the residents that tested positive continue to be completely asymptomatic, no symptoms. We currently do not have any other residents reporting any concerns of illness in the health center. We are monitoring vital signs every shift in the health center, and we do not have any residents that we are, knock on wood, concerned about being symptomatic at this point in time. We do have one independent living resident that reported an intermittent sore throat for the last several days, and we did have First Care come and perform a COVID test for that person this morning. As well, First Care is performing COVID tests on a handful of other folks that potentially had exposure through the therapy department. So we are working on that. So the timeline. I reported to the community a couple of times over the last week and a half or so that we had positive symptomatic staff members in the health center. First, it was a reception staff member, then it was the director of therapy, and then it was a CNA. So each of those people potentially, depending on what their exposure was to the residents, potentially could have been an inadvertent spreader of COVID before they were tested and were symptomatic, were tested, and then ultimately removed it from the schedule. So I want to talk to you about the most recent symptomatic positive staff member on campus timeline. So this is a staff member that works on the skilled nursing unit, a CNA, certified nurse's assistant. She was tested for COVID for her routine test on Monday, the 19th. That test came back on the 20th, negative. She was feeling completely fine. She worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. from the 20th into the 21st, and she left campus after her shift ended at 7 a.m. on the 21st. She has not returned since, because on the evening of the 21st and into the 22nd, she was not feeling well. She went for a private test off campus, which came back positive. She felt that she had symptoms of a sinus infection. So with her positive result on the 22nd, that is what set off our testing of all of the residents in the health center. So on the 22nd, we swabbed all of the residents of skilled nursing, assisted living, and garden view, although none were exhibiting symptoms. Those test results taken on the 22nd were returned on the 25th, which was Sunday. On Sunday is when the 12 came back positive. And again, all remain, they were symptomatic on the day we took the test. They were symptomatic on the asymptomatic, no symptoms. On the day we took the test, they were asymptomatic on the 25th, which was Sunday when we got the results. They were moved into isolation and are being treated with the utmost of precaution and isolation. They remain asymptomatic today. On Sunday, following the receipt of those 12 positive cases in the health center, we retested all of the residents in the health center, and we are awaiting those test results. We asked for them to be processed stat. We did that on Sunday. We still do not have the test back. It's very frustrating. A number of you have asked why our tests take so long when hospitals get them back in 6 hours, or why don't we have rapid tests? We don't have rapid tests because they're not available to facilities like ours yet. We have been in constant communication with the State Department of Health and the federal government to find out when we may have rapid testing capability here on campus. They have indicated that that could be sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and that when we do receive that rapid testing capability, that will be limited to use in the health center only. Again, as you all know, Woodland Pond is treated as 3 separate operating entities: skilled nursing, regulated by one authority, assisted living and garden view, regulated by another authority, and independent living, regulated by a third authority. So they see each of these as different. So rapid testing is expected to become available, as I said, sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks for the health center. We are uncertain at this time, based on the guidance from the Departments of Health, whether or not that means just for health center residents or for health center staff and residents. These are continually changing circumstances, and we get a different answer every time we ask. As far as independent living, that technology does not exist. We do not have a lab on site, so we are beholden to contracting with third parties to assist us with COVID testing. In my attempts to get independent living COVID tests on a wide-scale basis, which are still not as far along as I would have hoped by now, I first started with First Care here in Highland because they've been such a great partner to us. And initially they did say that they thought that they'd be able to come and swab all of the independent living residents. But then when they determined that it was 250, they just don't have the resources to be able to do so. So they respectfully and apologetically said that they could not do all of the independent living residents. But they are happy to test any resident that has suspected exposure or is symptomatic. And they've been doing so. They've been coming here on site and doing those tests in the morning. So my second attempt was with the lab that we do our employee testing through. That is a lab in Boston, and they've expressed a willingness to sell to us the swab kits and also to process the tests. And this is with whom I'm negotiating the logistics of that. Yesterday, I told them I wanted to proceed with that. Please call me right away. We've exchanged a number of emails. I still don't have the information that I want. I actually was hoping to have the tests in hand this afternoon. And we still just have not gotten a great response from them. Beyond that, there aren't great testing options on a wide scale basis. So if First Care is not an option, which we don't believe it to be at this point, and the Boston lab does not come through, wide scale testing is going to be extremely challenging. A number of you since my address yesterday have asked the question of the cost and why insurance is not going to cover the cost of this. We are doing testing for asymptomatic residents, and that's the distinction. So when First Care is coming and doing the testing of the individuals that either have suspected exposure or are symptomatic, That's going through insurance, and Medicare will cover it because those folks are symptomatic. The tests that we are looking to procure for independent living are to ensure or acknowledge or identify the COVID status of a population of people that are neither suspected of having a known exposure, and they're not symptomatic. So if you were to be symptomatic, or if we had did contact tracing to think that you have had a specific exposure, that would be a different story. So we're continuing to work through those details. We are going to strongly encourage everyone to get tested once we do get this technology here on campus. The way that this is planned to work at this point in time is that once we get the test swabs, Mary Jo and Sarah will be going door to door to perform those tests for you. They'll collect some basic demographic information from you, have you acknowledge via signature a form that 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 you're being tested and so forth, and they're going to do as many as they can in as many in as few of days as possible, so that they can try to get this accomplished quickly. But it's all going to depend on the final negotiation of the logistics and the timing of when the swabs will be here. So that's all still in process for independent living. For the health center, again, everyone's been retested, all of the staff, all of the residents. We don't have anybody symptomatic, knock on wood, at this time, and we're waiting for those test results to come back in. Today in the health center, the Department of Health has been here on site since 9:30 this morning. And they have 3 folks. They have completely audited the Garden View unit, which is memory care, assisted living, and skilled nursing unit. And prior to coming into this meeting, I was anticipating sitting down with them to receive their exit comments, but they're still working through those. So Philip Mal, our long-term care director, and Carrie Mosley will be sitting with them and provide to me a report. This was a planned visit, and this was based on the fact that we do have these positive cases. This is the 4th time that we've had this team on site. The prior 3 visits have been unannounced, and in each of the prior 3 visits, we have had no recommendations that have come from them in terms of what we could be doing better from an infection control perspective. So they may have different recommendations now, because we do truly have a secure, protected COVID cohort unit. And that's different than what we've had in the past. So I would anticipate that they may have some recommendations about how we can even further enhance the COVID positive unit, which is under full precautions. I just want to mention, we are having phone issues again. I'm sure you've realized that at this point. So this is the 3rd or 4th outage that we've had in the last 2 weeks, and we are just as frustrated with Magna 5 as you are. Jason and I are working with a third-party vendor to see what our options are for either swapping the phone system or what we need to do, but the phones are out again. Just wanted to let you know that, and just please be patient with that. Jason's all over it. Okay, so I already mentioned to you that all of the residents that tested positive continue to be asymptomatic. That's great news. And I also mentioned to you that we are waiting for the test results from all of the retests that we did on Sunday. I was hoping to have them yesterday. I was hoping to have them today, but they are still pending. A few logistical things. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., there was supposed to be a resident association meeting. That is now postponed, so you can take that off your calendar. You should be aware at this point that if you put on channel 1340 pretty much any time of day, you're going to find programming. Gretchen has been able to figure out how to fill in the schedule with fitness programming, my daily appointment at 2 p.m. And then she's actually got movies filming. We added a capability for us to be able to watch movies. And so that's going to happen at 3 p.m. every day. So if you're looking for things to do, certainly you can go into 1340 just about any time during the day, and you'll find things to do there. Tomorrow at my 2 o'clock, I will give you an update, and I will as well be reporting to you proposed 2021 monthly service fees. We normally do this at the Resident Association meeting to ensure that we have that out to you 60 days before year end. And since the resident association meeting is canceled tomorrow, I will be doing that on this video, and as well, we will get rate sheets out to you, distributed paper copy as well. The rates that you see, and you will see this on the documents, they're all pending state approval. The state has our request in, but they are still reviewing them. So we've never had them be changed in the past once we've submitted them, but these are pending state approval. So they're not official until we've got that letter, but we like to let you know what we're looking at. Yesterday, one of the big issues that was open was voting, and we are still working on it. I petitioned with the Board of Elections overnight to see if they would allow Woodland Pond to go to an early voting hour alone on Sunday morning. Early voting is scheduled for from 10 to 3 on Sunday. That's the date that we're looking at scheduling this for. But I had asked them, given our situation right now and also the extraordinarily long wait times, as I said yesterday, they're averaging 2 hours plus per person at the early voting sites, to find out if they would be willing to add an hour for us at 9 a.m. and they are unable to do so. So this is very important. Jason and I are trying to figure out the logistics on this. So what I need all of you to do, if you are planning on early voting and you are acknowledging that you're looking at a 2-hour wait time, probably outside on Sunday, and I don't know what the seating availability is. If you still want to go and early vote and you need us to transport you, I need you to call the concierge and let them know. We had 14 people on the list. I don't know if all 14 are still going to want to do that, given how long the lines are and the fact that the BOE can't accelerate. But I need you to call the concierge and let them know definitively if you are planning on early voting, so that we can make arrangements for Sunday. As far as the protection and the quarantine and what's going to happen with that piece of it, we're going to deal with that secondarily. But first, we need to know how many would actually intend to go and vote if we do offer that on Sunday. A number of you probably saw the Daily Freeman overnight, or heard that the press got hold of the story with the COVID cases. If you read it, they used a little bit of, shock and awe in the headline, but ultimately, the county executive, Pat Ryan, did a very gracious job of acknowledging that Woodland Pond has had no cases to date. And so the county health department was, curious about this and wanted to do retesting because of our excellent track record. So although we do have the 12 cases, there is a great acknowledgement of the fact that we have not had cases until now, and all of those residents remain asymptomatic. So everyone's a little puzzled about what's going on, but although the article was there, it wasn't absolutely awful. It is what it is. They like to announce things like that. The next thing, this is very important. We have heard from we've gotten a lot of phone calls from your family members stating that they are not getting our email updates that we're sending out every day. And they're not aware of these YouTube videos. So the only way that we can communicate that with them is via email. So if you would, please contact the concierge or send me or concierge an email with the email addresses of your loved ones that want to get the updates. We really need those because this is how we're communicating primarily. This is how we're sharing the video. This is how we're getting the information out. Information is on our website as well. For family members or residents that do not have email, we distribute paper copies within the building, and then outside of the building, we would need to know that they need a phone call. So please communicate with concierge that information. We're trying to create as comprehensive a list of email addresses as possible so that your loved ones can be kept in the loop. Let's see, let me just check and see if any new updates have come in since I've been on here. Okay, it looks like, okay, it looks like no updates have come in. So before I drop off, I would just like to reiterate to you that we are still under quarantine. It's our intention to stay in this status until we have a number of data points back, the results of testing in the health center, the feedback from the State Department of Health, the progression of symptomology in the health center residents that are positive or lack thereof, wide-scale testing and independent living. We need to kind of get these things, continue to get them situated to understand when we feel comfortable, making a decision about the quarantine. So for now, we remain everyone on quarantine. Everyone should be staying at their independent living or health center home, indoors or outdoors if you have access. But if you absolutely feel that you must leave your home, you cannot come through the community building. We've had so many people that we've had to redirect. I've had to engage with family members to please make reminder phone calls to their family members. We cannot have you in the community building, especially not by the concierge. We really don't even want you in the hallways, but we do understand that some of you do not have outdoor access immediately from your home, so you have to come down the stairs or down the elevator to get outside. Please go out the most immediate exit. Please bring your swipe card, your badge, so that when you return and want to go back to your home, you're going directly to your home. If you go for a walk, you must go alone unless you are going with your significant other. And I think that's kind of the gist of the issues and questions right now. If you have not returned your veteran form, I am finalizing the roll call, working with Gretchen right now. If you have not returned that veteran form about whether or not you are a vet and had military service, please call the concierge. You can dictate your information to them and they will fill out a form for you. We're trying to get a very complete and comprehensive roll call for this year so that we can honor our vets. So if you've not completed that paperwork, please do call concierge and they will fill out a form for you. Last but not least, you know how to get in touch with me. I know that Steve is checking in with you guys and he's keeping me posted as to the things that you need and how you're sounding. We're going to keep that up, but definitely reach out to me or to the concierge or any of our staff if you need us, and I will see you tomorrow.